Oh, I didn't see you there. Have you heard about the history of horror before? No? No way? No? Well, history of horror. In the 1700s, horror was just an idea originating from an art movement. It was only when the 1815 production of Frankenstein, wrote by Mary Shelley. In the at the start of the 1900s, the first version of this Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Dracula was also a film that revolutionised this movement. In 1952, the first 3D horror was made. This was called The House of Wax. The House of Wax was a film made by Warner Bros. Not necessarily a big player in the horror market. In the 1960s, horror seemed to die down, but in the late 70s, early 80s, horror seemed to reinvent itself with films such as Halloween, The Exorcist and The Omen. These films practically gave horror a revival. In the 1990s, horror films had a more postmodern approach with pastiche horrors such as Scream. These pastiche horrors, though, because of the way they were natured, had campaigns set against them like the video nasties.
Okay. Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Today I'll be talking about the BBFC film classification. They do this in many categories by categorising them in U, PG and onwards to 18. The U classification means that it can be seen by anyone over the age of 4 and will not contain any bad language, drug use or any alcohol, substance abuse of any kind. PG stands for parental guidance, and this means that they advise that you watch the film with your child. It may contain slight alcohol use, bad language such as bitch, but it has to be in context of the film and within the scene. 12. This means that the film could contain strong language, violent or disturbing scenes, but they do advise that people under 12 do not see these films. BBFC classification also allows for 12A, which means that the film is 12 rated but can be seen by a person under that age if they're with an adult. This will also contain bad language, but it's down to the parents' discretion to advise if the film is of suitable behaviour. 15. These films can have some sexual nature or some sexual scenes as long as they are within context within the film and do not show too much nudity or sexual behaviour. They can also contain some drug use and substance use as long as it also is in context with the film and does not be seen to promote drugs or promote alcohol abuse. They can also show some violence and some gore. 18. In 18 films, there are no limits on what can be shown in regards to nudity or language, as long as the nudity isn't seen to be seen as sex work or promoting sexual work. There can also be any subject matter, gore or psychological abuse, as long as, again, context. You have to be over 18 to buy these films or rent these films, and if you're out of your home, they can only be shown in licensed areas.
Oh hi, didn't see you there. Today I'm going to talk about subgenres in horror. Supernatural. Audiences can expect moving objects without any explanation. Main characters to be targeted even in their own homes. A backstory which makes reference to the devil or unrested souls. And eerie music which is used when the camera rotates, moves to show something behind the main character. Intensity chase scenes are used. Jump scares when the slasher catches up to the main character. The use of drugs to send people on a drug-fueled killing spree, and the use of gory scenes to show the extent of the slasher's violence to make him a more threatening character. Gothic. Dark, bleak settings are used. A sinister monster character is used as a potential threat and are usually set in a typical Gothic setting such as a castle or a dungeon. Body horror. Loss of limbs, extremely gory scenes, a mad scientist or a creature on the loose, and unnatural movements from people or creatures. This can be twisting the spine backwards, etc. Comedy horror, spoofs of popular horror films, unnecessary gory scenes and settings that break the dark and gloomy horror genre. Science fiction, the use of extraterrestrial beings, advanced technology. Zombie, the use of zombies, gory scenes, including zombie eating animal humans, a search for a cure, a group of survivors that are killed off one by one, and a rescue mission that can simply go wrong. Psychological, drug use, emotional arrest, supernatural possession, guilt, belief, and similar characteristics to a slasher, as that what films normally descend into.
Oh hi, didn't see you yet. My name's Ryan and today I'll be talking about iconic horror directors. I think you'll enjoy. George A. Romero was born in 1940 and is still alive today. Romero is probably best known for his work in the zombie horror genre with releases such as Dawn of the Dead and Night of the Living Dead. Romero's first film was Night of the Living Dead. It was a breakthrough film in the horror genre. It was budgeted $114,000 and made $42 million in all of its history. Romero was heavily influenced by films such as Casablanca and A Touch of Evil. James Wan was born in 1977 and is still alive today. Wan is a very new director to the horror genre, but already has releases like Saw and Insidious under his belt. Saw was released in 2003 as a short film, and then went on to become a full feature-length film in 2004. The Saw films have been under great critical acclaim since their release, and in 2010, Wan released his new series of films, Insidious. Last but not least, Alfred Hitchcock. Born in 1899 and died in 1980, Alfred Hitchcock was one of horror's most iconic directors. He was labelled the master of suspense with work with timeless classics such as Vertigo and Psycho. Hitchcock also won a KBE for his work in filmography. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for. Thank you for watching and don't get too spooked.